This is AHMED Fry, in association with MTK Global, all the way from Atlanta, I believe. I'm joined by former two-time middleweight champion of the world in campaign, that's super middleweight now, Danny Jacobs. How's things in lockdown, Danny?
All is well. I mean, it's been different, but it's been a very humbling experience, this lockdown. I've been able to better myself in different ways. I've been able to, structurize my life under these circumstances. And I guess like everyone else, we've just been trying to make it. And I've been trying to stay safe. I've been indoors as much as possible. Been trying to advocate to everyone else do the same. This is a pandemic. I mean, we have hundreds of thousands of people losing their lives. I've lost friends.
Oh, really?
I've lost, and I've had friends and family, and I've seen all over people actually. I come from New York. New York is one of the hardest places right now that's being hit. So it's definitely hit me, and it's hit home. I'm just trying my best to have kind of a strong mental mentality about it, because it's really hard, but it's nothing I can do. So all I can do, like I said, is just advocate to for everyone to stay inside, stay safe, and I'm definitely doing the same.
Well, we know you've moved to Atlanta, obviously a Brooklyn boy. I'm glad. Yeah. I'm sure you are glad that you're not in New York at the moment, because that seems like the worst sort of hit place in the world at the moment.
Yeah, no, it is. A lot of my family members, I'm keeping in contact with them just to touch bases every day, and it's really, really close to home. So it's all you can do right now is just wait it out, follow the guidelines, and just wait till this thing kind of pan out. But I believe it will.
Hopefully it will soon, and we see you back in a ring soon. That's what we all.
Yeah.
Danny, let me ask about the super middleweight division. It's an intriguing one where you've got one person holding each belt. You've got 4 champions. It's a unique division. You're now campaigning there. You had a wild fight last time. When you look back, it's crazy, isn't it, what happened on that night?
It was a crazy experience for sure. I mean, I was more so just wanting to fight a former world champion, son of a legend, and do it for the fans, because the fans of Phoenix really hadn't had a really, world title fight show, or it wasn't a world title, but a show of that magnitude. They didn't have that in a while. So for us to come and kind of bless everyone and allow everyone to experience such great fights, for that commotion to happen afterwards, was disappointing. But I understand the frustration, so I'm not mad at it at all. It's all good.
Actually, before we come on to the champions, let me ask you about a certain man, Gabe Rosado.
Yeah.
He was on Instagram Live the other day with Eddie Hearn. He did publicly say that he will knock you out.
Yeah, he did.
Chasing this fight for a long time. I know you guys know each other as well, both.
Yeah.
Without being disrespectful to him, you're obviously looking ahead at the moment. But is that a fight you would entertain, Danny? Just because there seems to be a little bit of beef and rivalry, and he is a big name still, Gabe Rosado, even though he doesn't hold a belt or anything. He is well known. So would you entertain that fight, Danny?
I would definitely entertain the fight. I feel like, like I said before, sometimes there's fights where, you want to do it for yourself. You want to do it for personal reasons. And I think that I just kind of want to settle the debt that we had. We've been fussing for the last couple of years. And, I don't want him, nor do I want to go on into our careers and say we shoulda, woulda, coulda. And, him thinking he's a better man than I am. And even though it's no real beef, it's really just competitiveness. He might have said a couple of things I ain't like, and I had to check him on it, but that's just, a man-to-man thing. But at the same time, I really genuinely want this fight, because I feel like it's a good fight as well, to have it in Philly or to have it in New York. So coming back from all of this pandemic that we're going through, I think that will definitely be the perfect fight for me.
Can you understand the position he's in? You've been there before, where you're looking up at fighters, and really to get that fight with yourself, he's going to have to scream and shout your name, which he is doing. So I'm sure he can understand.
He's screaming, shout, kicking, and scratching. But I definitely understand. I understand the platform that he has and what he has to go through. It's to me, I think all fighters need to do it, but do it in a respectful way. But at the same time, look, it worked for him, because he definitely got under my skin. So, but for the future, looking forward, because I definitely see if that fight was to pan out, I definitely see me sticking at 168 and fighting the who's who of the 68 division.
Okay. We were expecting Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo to fight. Of course, we're not sure whether that's going to happen now because there's rumors about Canelo and Golovkin having that trilogy potentially.
Right.
Let me ask you, how did you rate Billy's chances in that fight, and if it still does happen?
Well, I mean, as we know, sometimes Billy doesn't show up to fights. His preparation from prior, you see him sometimes he's bloated. I don't know if it's a weight issue, but I think we've seen the best of Billy Joe, and I think as of recent, we haven't really got a chance to see him at his well, maybe we haven't, I don't know, but it just hasn't been what Billy Joe has to offer. And I just think that is disappointing because I like the kid, even though I feel like, he's not the best, role model. I like his boxing style. I do. But to compare it to a Canelo, I don't know. He has the tools as far as being a southpaw and not get hit. Canelo has that sometimes planted feet and sometimes fighting spurts. So if he's a very disciplined fighter, I can see his chances being pretty fair. But like I said, as of recent, we haven't seen the best, and I don't think it would have been in his favor.
As I said, your two former opponents, Canelo and Golovkin, could be tied up, so that leaves Billy without a fight. Callum Smith's also without a fight at the moment.
Yeah.
Two UK guys who hold belts. You take either of them, I'm sure.
Sure, absolutely. And those are the fights that I want. I don't want to come up to the super middleweight division and pick fights, right? Gabe Rosado was one of those personal fights that just has to be understandable. And it's not even a 100% fight. That's just what I want for the future, or immediately, actually. But as far as my future in the super middleweight division, I want the who's who's. I want what makes sense for my career. But as far as champions concerned, it's just a matter of picking 1, 2, 3, 4, because there's tons of guys that's out there and that's available.
Callum and Billy with Eddie Earn and fight on DAZN, so that's more realistic, I suppose. You have got Benavidez and Caleb Plant as well, who we have to recognise. Obviously, they fight on a different platform, so it might be tricky in that sense to make it. How do you rate Benavidez and Plant?
I rate Benavidez probably one of the best in the division. I think he still young too, but he has a lot more to learn. But I just think as far as his physique, I think he's probably in his style too. He got fast hands. I like the kid. I've always watched him since I've seen him come on a game. So even being in the super middleweight division, I'm still kind of a fan of guys. Not saying I'd like, whoopie go, but at the same time, I would still get in the ring with all of them because I'm competitive and I believe I can be the best in the middleweight division. I just have to prove myself.
If you had a preference out of the 4 champions, this is after Rosado, out of the 4 champions, if you could pick one, would you have a preference, Danny?
It would probably be Callum Smith.
How comes?
Because I think it's the biggest fight, and I think it's also a fight that can be made. With Billy Joe, we've tried to make that fight in the past, and it was like, I don't think he really wanted to fight. So I think Callum Smith actually accepting on wanting to fight me, or I'm not sure if he called me out, but hearing that he wants to fight me, it's a fight I think can happen and make sense, actually. Yeah.
If you fight Rosado, beat him, and then fight one of these champions we've named and get another world title, become a 3-time world champion, 2-weight world champion. We know Canelo has got a lot of fights left still on his DAZN contract. Are you targeting that rematch, Danny?
Well, I just feel like if he was to campaign at the super middleweight division, of course, that would make sense. But I've had my opportunity to fight Canelo. How it went with all the weight issues and things of that nature, we already know. We already discussed it. But in terms of future, I'm not sure, because this is boxing. I mean, we have to be realistic with ourselves, even as fighters. Like, of course, I would want to fight Canelo next. That would be my next fight if it could be, right? But obviously, this is boxing. It's a business, and You know, I just have to wait till my turn and then prove myself and then get back into position to get that opportunity.
Well, there's plenty of exciting fights, whoever it is. As I mentioned, the 4 champions, all good fighters. But we'd love to see you fight in the UK as well, Danny. I know the big money fights generally happen in Vegas, and you fought in Vegas before, and obviously you're a New York guy as well. But you know, with Billy Joe and Callum Smith, both UK fighters holding a belt each, potentially you could come to the UK.
I would love that. I think it would be huge. I think the last time I fought in the UK might have been long ago. It might have been against Martin Murray when we was amateurs, and I just love the atmosphere. I love the UK fans in general. I think they're the biggest boxing fans in the world. So it'll be my honor to fight a world champion there. But I think too, also it makes sense for those guys to build a base here. So I wouldn't presume that Callum Smith or Billy Joe would be opposed to coming to the U.S. But really, that's really up to the teams. That's really up to our promoters and our managers and the powers to be. So.
All right, Danny Jacobs, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. As I said, you know, you've been through such hardship in your life before as a cancer survivor. Have you got any words for people struggling right now in this tough time, Danny?
Well, like I said, all we can do right now is just follow the guidelines that everyone's just kind of put out there to do. You know, there's put in place for us to be safe. I have my mask. I have everything. And so if I'm going to step out into the world for my essentials, and that's really what we must do. But if you're forced to work, which is understandable, just really, really be safe. And to all the healthcare providers, to all the world and the medical staff, I just want to take my hat off in this pandemic that we're going through, especially in New York City. I mean, but throughout the world, everyone is really coming together throughout this time, and I commend everyone. This world is at a very, very bad time, and I know we will get through this together. So I just want to say thank you to everyone.
Well said, Danny. Appreciate your time, and hopefully speak soon, all right? God bless you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.